Tesla just recently announced a new program for the Model 3 and Model Y. Originally, they were offering $3,750 off the price of a brand new Model 3 or Model Y, as long as it's in inventory. So you could custom order as long as that was matched to a VIN. Before the end of the year, you would get that $3,750 off. Starting December 21st, they increased that offer to $7,500, and this was on any Model Y or any Model 3. You also got 10,000 supercharging miles. Well, just now Tesla has decided to expand that program to include Model S and Model X. Again, this is for in-inventory cars. Again, you can custom order it, but the VIN has to be matched and you have to take delivery before the end of the year in order to get this $7,500 off, plus 10,000 free supercharging miles. Now, keep in mind that 10,000 supercharging miles is worth about $1,000 in supercharging, and it's good for 2 years. So you can use 10,000, or over the course of 2 years, your supercharging will be covered, whichever comes first. Those supercharging miles will not show up in your account until January at some point beginning of the year. This is kind of a surprising move. However, I have been seeing the Model S and Model X inventory continue to swell as of late, and it's not the same case as the Model 3 and Model Y, where there's impending tax credits on the way. These are not eligible for tax credits, so this is actually a fantastic deal for those of you who are considering a Model S or Model X. $7,500 off is no chump change, even though these are six-figure cars. The Model S will now start at $97,490, the Plaid at $128,490. Over on the Model X, this would bring the price down to $113,490, and the Model X Plaid at $131,490. These are some pretty good discounts on both of those units. So the interesting thing is this: I'm not surprised to see what happened to the Model 3 and Model Y inventory. As a matter of fact, when the $3,750 came out, I started to see a stabilization of inventory, but there was still a lot of inventory of Model Ys and Model 3s, at least here locally in Central Florida. Between Orlando and Miami, there were quite a few Model 3s and Ys. When that $7,500 came out, plus 10,000 supercharging miles, the Model 3 and Model Y inventory has all but vanished at this point. There are literally, at the time of filming, there are 2 Model Ys available. There are 0 Model 3s available, all within 200 miles of Central Florida. Now, keep in mind, this inventory is updated constantly. So if you are trying to take advantage of this, don't feel discouraged like you missed out on the $7,500, because tomorrow there could be more inventory. I would check every hour if you truly are trying to get your hands on a Model Y or a Model 3. Obviously, you're going to have to be a little bit open to what options that car comes with. Everything except for enhanced autopilot and full self-driving, which they will remove before you take delivery if the car shows that it has that. So if you're open to that, there are some pretty awesome deals to be had. And forget the tax credits. Your income doesn't matter. The trim of the car doesn't matter. None of that matters. $7,500 for everybody, for every trim of every Model 3 and every Model Y. Do keep in mind, depending on taxes in your area, there's additional savings because this is off the price of the car. So the same is going to be the case with the Model S and the Model X. As I said, I've been watching the inventory of the Model S and Model X continue to grow over this last quarter, and as interest rates have been climbing, very expensive cars like the S and the X are going to be harder and harder to sell. So this is not really a surprise. What's really interesting about this unique situation is there's a number of demo models out there available, and they already have a discount. For some time, demo models didn't even come with a discount. So seeing some of those marked down, pretty good amount of money, plus you can take this additional money off. So if you're able to find a demo model that has very low miles, and it's hard to tell, but roll the dice and see if it's in really good condition as is new, then you would be in a good situation. Get the discount on it being a demo model, plus take this $7,500 off. You could be looking at close to under $90,000 for a Model S long range. On the Model X, however, it looks like you'll still be in the 110s, but there are some deals out there, especially if you're looking for a demo model. If you don't want a demo model, I totally understand. You can still get a new one. There are plenty of them, at least here in Central Florida, within 200 miles. That have no miles. They are not demo cars. There's plenty of them out there. Now, it'll be interesting to see how many of those they can sell over the next 2 days here on Saturday and on Sunday. So obviously this is a bit of a surprise. We saw this coming with the Model 3 and Model Y when the 3750 came. I wasn't surprised. I was somewhat expecting to see them offer a software upgrade for free to move those cars, but it turns out they just went ahead and took money off the price of the car. I am surprised to see them take this much money off a Model S and Model X. Now, obviously, as inventory is swelling and we're coming to the end of the year, obviously with the stock price, Tesla cannot afford a big hit right now. So moving all the inventory, no matter what it takes, I think that Tesla is pulling all the cards right now. With that said, it's going to be extremely interesting to see what happens as we pivot into 2023. And I don't want to speculate too much here, but a lot of people are asking, are these discounts going to stay? And I'm not so sure that they will. The Model 3 and the Model Y, I think we're going to have to wait and see. As long as demand continues to be strong, I don't think we're going to see too much movement in price. That said, the long-range Model 3 is probably going to be reintroduced in Q1 of 23 at a lower $54,990 price point to make it eligible for those tax credits. We had some interesting news just the other day about the Model Y. Apparently, only the 7-seat Model Y will qualify for the $80,000 MSRP cap. The 5-passenger Model Y is not going to qualify for any tax credits because the MSRP cap on the 5-seat Model Y is $55,000, which is extremely disappointing. And I think that this is going to change here very soon because there are a ton of inconsistencies on what the government is deciding will qualify for an $80,000 MSRP cap versus a $55,000 MSRP cap. The ID4 and the Model Y are the perfect example to look at. They both meet the same position. Even the Model Y versus Model Y, it doesn't make any sense why one would be $80,000, why one would be $55,000. That said, if that does not change and the 5-seater continues to have a $55,000 MSRP cap, one of two things is going to happen. Tesla is probably going to roll out 7-passenger as standard for all Model Ys. Then it'll be $80,000 MSRP cap for all Model Ys, and they don't have to worry about price. Or Tesla is going to get very aggressive and lower prices across the board. I think it's possible, but we will have to see a long period of demand continuing to drop in order for that to happen. I personally believe a lot of people have been holding off their orders for these tax credits to go into effect. And if they're not staying up to date on Tesla day to day like you are, they don't know that these discounts are available right now. So I think that January 1st, they're probably going to be inundated with a bunch of orders, but we'll just have to wait and see. As for the Model S and X, I do like seeing these prices starting to come down. It wasn't that long ago that a Model S was $69,990. It was for a short period of time, but these prices have gone absolutely to the moon on the Model 3, the Model Y, the S, and the X, and it would be nice to see these prices continue to come down. And until interest rates start to level off, I don't think that prices are going to continue to climb anytime soon. So with that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bearded Tesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.